Shalom. Call Aloyim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Yeah, so I wanted to showcase this interview, two different clips from this interview where Professor Jiang, or Jiang, however you say it, he's going to answer a question concerning what he believes to happen in 2027. And if you don't know this guy, he has in the past predicted a lot of events that have come true. And a lot of people turn to him to understand economics on a global level. And because he's gotten such a popularity in the past, people are putting him on their podcasts and on their shows, interviewing him, of course, right here, and seeing what he thinks is going to happen very soon. And what we're going to see is that he's basically describing the event of Jacob's trouble. Now, in my opinion, he's juiced in, but that's neither here nor there. Either way, we're going to just watch these clips and see what he has to say, because once again, it all lines up with prophecy, and we're bringing this out to let you know what time we're living in so that the hopeful elect out there can get our spirits right with the Lord. That's why all of this is important. So let's check out these two clips and then we'll grab some precepts.
What's your prediction for 2027?
Okay, so let's look at some major events that are happening right now. Okay, so you've got this war in Iran that seems to be escalating day by day. You got the midterms coming up in November, and people expect the Democrats to sweep the House, in which case they will probably impeach Donald Trump. And you also have basically global economic collapse because the Iranians have closed the Strait of Hormuz. And so fertilizer and oil, LNG, are not able to be transported around the world. So the Middle East provides about 20% of the world's oil supply. And it's also high quality that the rest of the world can't actually replicate. So these are all very pressing issues right now, right? So my prediction for how things will unfold is that, number one, I think this war between the United States and Iran will only escalate. There can be no off-ramp because, first of all, Donald Trump sees this war in Iran as crucial in achieving his Messianic mission, which we talked about earlier. The military-industrial complex, Pentagon, the military, once they get into a war, they don't back out. You know, it's human nature, right? Where it's some cost fallacy, where you've already invested so much into this war, and you're not gonna say, you know what, I've lost enough, I'm gonna go home, right? It's like going to a casino and you've lost $1 million. You're not gonna go home after losing $1 million. You're like, no, my luck will turn around, right?
What's your prediction?
Okay, so clip number one. The most important thing that he said, obviously, was that he foresees this war escalating. He doesn't see it stopping. And many people are saying that. I think even Ray Dalio said that. So many people are saying that, and that's kind of obvious, right? Let's go to clip number two.
I think by 2027, ICE will be much more powerful than people imagine. I think they want to deploy National Guard to all major cities in America because they're preparing for economic collapse, they're preparing for financial collapse, they're preparing for the national draft, and they will need law enforcement and National Guard in all the major cities, especially in democratic cities like Los Angeles and Boston and Chicago, where they expect the resistance to be the greatest. By 2027, all the ingredients for civil war should already be in place. I don't mean actually, two militaries fighting each other, but I'm saying like nationwide discontent and riots and protests and insurgencies. Okay, so this is going to be low-level conflict, but it's going to be what the Civil War will look like for the next few years. So The global economy should have collapsed by 2027. So JP Morgan has reports saying that the world will run out of oil by the end of this month.
And that's because of the closing of the Strait
That's
of
right.
Hormuz.
Because of the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, I think by 2027.
Yeah, so there we have it. And of course, he said a lot in this one, but basically, a global economic collapse. He foresees that there's going to be, of course, a collapse here in Babylon the Great, and therefore the government is going to prepare for it. And that means that there's going to be national riots and protests everywhere across all the states. And he foresees ICE, therefore, becoming more powerful, and the government deploying the National Guard and law enforcement really across all states. But he said the major cities where they predict that there's going to be the most resistance. So you have all of that. And he said by 2027, the ingredients for an economic collapse will be in place. That's what he's predicting. And what he's describing, you see, these different professors, economists, financial experts, they're going to break things down in terms of the knowledge that they know and what they foresee, right? Their science. But then we, the prophets, we break things down from a prophetic perspective, and we tell you what the scriptures say is going to happen, what's going to take place from there. And because of that, he has no clue that he's describing Jacob's trouble. You see him and all these other people, they think that there's going to be some kind of recession or collapse, we'll use that word, and then years go by and eventually America, the economy, gets built back up. That's not going to take place. And that's why you can only listen to them but for so long. And you got to just chew on the meat, and that's it. And the meat is what the scriptures say, what lines up with the scriptures. So will we see Jacob's trouble in 2027? Maybe. We're already in Jacob's trouble right now, but it's just the beginning. Will it fully manifest in 2027? We'll see. It's very likely, though. I want to start off here in Isaiah 42, verse 9, and I'm going to read it in the NLT on the right. It says, "Everything I prophesied has come true, and now I will prophesy again. I will tell you the future before it happens." And that's the true job of a prophet. Not to wait until these things happen and then in the moment you say, "Yeah, I told you." No. Then you want to point things out. You're supposed to talk about these things before they come, because that's how you truly warn. You see, right now the prophets are wearing many different hats. So we're prophets, of course. We're bishops at the same time, watching over the flock. We're, you can say, watchmen, because we're standing on that tower and we're blowing the trumpet. We're priests at the same time, because we're, in a way, a mediator between Yahushua and our people, letting them know to come back to the Most High by believing on the only begotten Son, Yahushua. So we're wearing many different hats, and one of them is being a prophet. You should be talking about things that are going to come in order to warn our people. Be that prophet, be that watchman. And so the Bible talks about a time like never was nor shall be. And that's Jacob's trouble. When you read Jeremiah 30 and verse 7, I'm going to get right to the point in the King James. "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." The elect man first and foremost, and then of course you have women and children that are going to receive salvation as well. And so we're looking forward to these times. You have to look forward to and embrace all these prophecies and everything that's going to come to pass, because we can't do anything to stop it. And why would we? Why would we want to stop these things from happening? What's about to happen is the true collapse of not just Babylon the Great, but the time of the Gentiles ruling. What we're going to witness is the collapse of the Gentiles. That's what this is, in which Esau Edom was prophesied to be ruling at the very end. And we're going to see his downfall, the world in which his world is destroyed. His world is going to collapse. And then Jacob's will rise. I'm going to grab one last precept. This is 2 Ezra 16. I'm going to read it in the GNT. I'm going to start at verse 70, and I'm going to read through 75. And Ezra's prophesied and gave a nice description of Jacob's trouble in the 15th chapter. Right here is good as well. 2 Ezra 16, verse 70. In many places near the cities, there will be violent persecution against those who fear the Lord. So Esau, Edom is going to come down hard on the Israelites. But first and foremost, he's going to try to get the elect. Right? That's who fears the Lord. The attackers will act like wild people. They will plunder and destroy without pity all those who still fear the Lord. They will turn them out of their homes. They will turn them out of their homes and take away all their possessions. So lots of looting and rioting. This will be the time of testing for my chosen people, for the elect. And they will prove to be as pure as refined gold. Why or how? Because they're going to keep the faith. They're going to keep their faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai to protect them and keep them safe during that time. And that's what it's going to get into, verse 74. But listen to what the Lord says, my chosen people. The time of terrible suffering is near, but I will rescue you. Don't be afraid or have any doubts. I am your God, and I will lead you. Point blank, period. So if you're a part of the elect, you have nothing to worry about. Of course, we don't know if we're a part of that number. However, if you're putting on as the elect and you're striving for the truth, then more than likely you're a part of that number. All you have to do is continue to be humble, be sincere and genuine, keep repenting and having faith in the Lord, and all things shall work out in your favor. You're not supposed to be thinking, well, what if this happens to me? What if I'm not a part of the elect? But all those negative thoughts that's the flesh getting to you, and you got to put a stop to that immediately. Like it says, you can't let your sins weigh you down in verse 77. But keep reading, of course, it's good. I'm going to stop right there because 75 was the point. The Most High is going to be our guide. He's going to keep us safe during this terrible time. So you don't need to prepare physically. Your job is to prepare spiritually and mentally, increasing your faith in the Lord. So be prepared because 2027 could bring about the full manifestation of Jacob's trouble. Will it? Who knows? We'll see. We're looking forward to it. Kol Haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rachakudash. Shalom to the elect.